Let's get into it. I know that I'm running late today. I apologize, but if you all knew, it's as simple as it might seem to put the show together. It really is not. We have to do quite a bit of things before actually being able to hit live on StreamYard. So I know it's not like a real news segment, but we do take it very seriously. And I was running late trying to get things together. But let's get into it. It's your SwagHer Daily Brief for Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. The SwagHer Daily Brief is the news source for Black women who are building, leading, and living out loud. I'm your host, Fancy, and this segment is produced by the lovely Arnya T.M. Davis, who we are sending our prayers on a private matter today. Now, let's get to humping. Two Georgia Republicans have introduced resolutions seeking the impeachment of U.S. District Judge Eleanor Ross after a judicial misconduct investigation found she engaged in misconduct, including a sexual relationship with a police officer and misleading investigators. The resolutions were filed by U.S. Reps Clay Fuller and Andrew Clyde. The investigation reportedly began after one of her law clerks reported that on multiple occasions the judge had engaged in sexual activity with a high-ranking uniformed officer in her office, within earshot of staff. Ross received a private reprimand following the investigation, and it is now up to the House Judiciary Committee to decide whether to move forward with formal impeachment proceedings. Federal judges are appointed for life and can only be removed through impeachment. My thoughts now, let me be clear. I'm not here to defend the conduct, but let's call it what it is. A private reprimand was already handed down. The system handled it. So why are two Republican congressmen now fast tracking impeachment articles? You have to ask yourself, would this same energy exist if it were a male judge? Because we have seen men in power do far worse, keep their seats and get book deals. The double standard when it comes to Black women in positions of power is not subtle, it is the whole point. And the fact that this same congressman has filed impeachment articles against multiple judges who have ruled against the current administration tells you everything you need to know about who is really being targeted and why. In story number two, Karmelo Anthony found guilty, sentenced to 35 years. Um, a Texas teenager who fatally stabbed a 17-year-old track athlete from a rival team during a high school meet was convicted of murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison in a trial that drew national attention. A jury rejected Carmelo Anthony's claims of self-defense during a confrontation with Austin Metcalf in stadium bleachers last year. The 12-person Collin County jury deliberated for approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes before reaching the guilty verdict. Anthony will be eligible for parole after serving half of his sentence. Anthony's mother was the only person to take the stand during the punishment phase, asking jurors to show him mercy and saying he was sorry for what he did. My thoughts on the matter, I said it before and I'm saying it again. We failed Carmelo Anthony. That does not mean Austin Metcalf's family doesn't deserve justice and healing. Both things are true. But when I look at that jury and that courtroom in Collin County, Texas, those were not his peers. And that is not a technicality. That is the foundation of how the system is supposed to work. We keep asking why young Black men end up in these situations, but we are not having the harder conversations about what happens after, who judges them, who decides their fate, and who we allow to sit in those jury boxes. Jury duty is not an inconvenience, it is a responsibility. And when our community opts out, we leave our children at the mercy of people who don't know them, don't see them, and often don't want to. In today's story stirred something in you. We want to see you in the room, sipping, settling, and storytelling is happening Saturday, June 20th. That's 10 days away at Co-on Creche in Alexandria, Virginia. The theme is Free Before They Told Me, and it is an intimate morning of coffee, community, and storytelling for women who are ready to speak their truth out loud. Doors open at 10 a.m. Grab your ticket at Event Nord or Eventbrite before they're gone. And we do have 2-for-1 and early bird tickets back on sale on Eventbrite. So if you look there and you didn't see them, they're back now. In story number 3, seems like, sorry, my 1 second. Why is it going so fast? I needed to go back. How do I get it to go back? Navy Admiral fired by Hexelf advances to South Carolina congressional. Oh gosh. Let me go over here. Good thing I got to back up. Trying to tell y'all about the Hexelf situation. Okay. So Navy Admiral fired by Hexeth advances to South Carolina congressional runoff. Nancy LaCour, a 3-star admiral who was fired by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth last year, is projected to advance to a runoff against veteran Mac DeFord in the Democratic primary for South Carolina's 1st congressional district. During more than 3 decades of service in the Navy, LaCour rose from pilot to vice admiral and served as chief of the Navy Reserve for over a year before Hexelf removed her and dozens of other military leaders. Upon launching her campaign in January, LaCour said she never put the uniform on again after being ousted from the Pentagon. The runoff is set for June 23rd. My thoughts? Watch this woman. They fired her instead of going quietly, she ran for Congress. That is the kind of energy we need more of. They thought dismissing her would silence her, and she turned it into a platform. Now the seat is still expected to lean Republican in general, but the statement being made here is bigger than one district. When you come for certain women, they don't fold. They pivot, and we are here for it. And if visibility is on your to-do list, it should be. The SwagHer Spotlight Bundle was made for you. For $199.99, you get a live interview streamed to SwagHer's 300,000 plus community of Black women, 3 professional promotional clips for your social channels, and a written editorial feature on swaggeronline.com that keeps working for you long after the camera stops rolling. That is a $55 savings when you bundle. Head to swaggerpr.com to grab yours. Today's sources were Fox 5 Atlanta, The Washington Times, ABA Journal, ABC News, CNN, WFAA, and The Hill. The SwagHer Daily Brief is produced by Orion T.M. Davis, hosted by me, Fancy. Until next time, stay visible, stay grounded, stay SwagHer. Peace and blessings. Bye, y'all.